I've literally filmed this video twice already, so let's hope this one is the third time lucky, because I'm sick of filming it on different nights and not being happy. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna Rose and today I'll be doing another Contiki Q&A. Yes, another one, because I got so many questions on my last video and I'm so happy to hear that I'm helping you guys out and getting you all prepared for your future or hopefully future trip away. So let's go! Woo! Okay, so the first question comes from Alex Thompson and she asked what the accommodation was like. They were livable, they were clean, and we had really no issues apart from the obvious that there was some sort of bed bugs in Italy. Of course, you're only staying 1 or 2 nights maximum on a trip like I went on at these hotels, so you're usually really wrecked when you arrive at the hotel, and all you're really going to need is a bed and a nice toilet, and that's about it. Room for your suitcase. So the only thing is that if you are in a 3-person share room, you will have limited space for everyone's suitcases or bags. It's not much of a problem because you're not in the hotel for a very long time other than when you're sleeping. So this question comes from Lauren Hall and she asked, what time of year did I go and what was the weather like? So I went at the end of July to the start of August during my Contiki trip, and yeah, that's prime summer weather. In saying that though, I did take 1 pair of jeans, a jumper and jacket, and I'm really glad that I brought them because in the first few countries we went to, the Netherlands, Germany and Austria, they were the colder countries. They are further up north, so it does make sense. There was one night in Amsterdam where it was freezing and that happened to be the first night, and I'm really thankful that I brought those clothes with me because if not, I would have been screwed. Definitely make sure to bring emergency winter clothes. So Live Fashion Makeup asks, how does the SIM card work exactly? Did you buy it overseas or before you left Australia? So we bought it once we were in London. There are no 3 stores in Australia anymore, so that wasn't an option. The 3 workers were so helpful, such lovely people, and we wanted the data, so that's what we got. And yeah, it was so easy to do. You just need to go to the store, say what you need, and they'll be able to help you. And they will tell you there what countries it works in, or unless you want to check now, you can definitely check their website. So Jess Kinger asked, I was just wondering if you keep your passport with you in your handbag or locked up in your suitcase back at the hotel / under the bus. I definitely tried to keep it on me almost always. I say that because I didn't really mind at the start of the trip when we started in the Netherlands and Germany and Austria. I wasn't that fussed. We weren't staying in busy places anyway in some of those countries. I didn't see the danger in leaving it in my luggage bag, but also I didn't actually remember to either. I didn't remember to have it on me, which is my mistake. Nothing happened, so that was all good, but yeah, most definitely when I went further south to Italy and those sort of countries, I kept it on me always then, and I just had it in a little zip bag, which is like a little satchel that can hide undergarments that you're wearing, and I literally just had that in one of my bra cups. I had it resting in there 24/7, had cash, had my passport, had my extra bank card if I lost my other bank card in there, and I was good to go with using those. Jess Kinger also asked a few other questions. So she asked, how did you find the hotel Wi-Fi? The hotel Wi-Fi was okay. Again, I didn't have to worry about it too much because I had my SIM card. So I didn't have to run down to the reception and get the passport every time. We already had it, so we were ahead of the game there. But yeah, the Wi-Fi was reasonably okay. There were some complaints from our Contiki group, but I honestly wasn't around it too much to know. There was one hotel in Italy where you only could access the Wi-Fi down the hallway, so that night I'm pretty sure we all ordered takeaway in and just ate it, and it was just like a line of people outside. You just looked down and everyone was on their phones and chatting, and yeah, it was a good vibe. That's the only thing that I can sort of remember, but all in all it was pretty good. And don't really remember anyone complaining too much about it. Again, you are on a trip, and Contiki do sort of push in to not be reliable on internet and things like that. And Jess Kinger also asked, was there Wi-Fi available at some cafes and restaurants? Honestly, we didn't really have time to be looking. I mean, of course, if we were at a restaurant or a cafe and they happen to have Wi-Fi, great, that's awesome, saves you lots of time, cool. But we never went looking for Wi-Fi. If you need to look for it, I 99% would say there would be some around. You just have to go looking for it. So MCR asked, what time did you wake up roughly over the tour? My answer to that is get ready for early mornings. Get ready for 6 a.m. wake ups and then 7 a.m. to be on the bus. That happens. Sometimes we'll get some sleep-ins at about like 7:30 and then you'll be on the bus at 8, but that happens very rarely. Sleep-ins don't exist, but you have a bus ride for 2 hours plus to catch up on that sleep. So not to worry, you'll be feeling semi-refreshed after your little nap on the bus. Nicole T asked, did you take a sleeping bag liner? Which is a really, really smart thing to think of. No, I didn't bring a sleeping bag liner, but I would definitely do it for my next Contiki just in case. So Melina Tarikas asked, is it best to carry cash or just use your debit/credit card? My answer is to carry cash. I am one of those people that always has cash in my wallet no matter what. I feel naked without it. I had emergency cash and I also had cash in my wallet. So my emergency cash was put into my satchel that I was talking about earlier before, and my cash that I was cool to use for the day was kept in my wallet. I recommend having a debit card and using it when you need to take money out, but you do have to be aware that there is a conversion rate. Most likely when you're using a travel cash card, there'll be about $2 every time you take out money. So that's something that you've got to think about. And also, not everywhere you go you can use cards, and that's the reality of it. You sometimes can only use cash. Bridie Gem asked, what sort of luggage did I take? So I took a very large suitcase and I was shitting myself before arriving on the Contiki day where we met everyone, because I thought I'd be the only one with a huge suitcase, and my friend had a backpack suitcase so she could sort of do both. That was not an option for me, but I slowly realized on the first day of Contiki that I was not the only one with a massive suitcase, and mine was lighter than the other massive suitcases. Just take whatever you feel comfortable using, what you're used to using. I definitely recommend with what you feel more comfortable with. There's no problem with either, just that you might get more space in a suitcase. So Ria Sharma just was wanting to know if you got any time shopping on your me time. I went on a 12-day trip, so places that I was spending 2 days in, we most definitely did like Paris and Rome, but other places not too much. We were only there for like a day, so we weren't really looking to go shopping, more exploring. But don't get me wrong, if you have a longer trip, then yeah, you should be able to go shopping in some of those cities. You do get to go shopping as long as you make some time allocated for it. So Liam Green asked, where did you stop in Belgium? Now we stopped at a wonderful service station, I'm gonna say. But when I say that, it means like an amazing huge deli. One thing about Contiki that I really loved is whenever we had stopovers, they stopped at some of the best side of the highway service stations. They were incredible, filled with great food that was from the country you're in and just really gourmet, and I really loved that about it. I think we can all agree that we had some really good meals over the stopovers. And I also recommend while you're on those stopovers to buy food for in the bus for the next day, just in case you get a little bit nibbly. But we didn't actually stop in Belgium, unfortunately. That's just a driving through country. Most trips are like that, unless you pick one that you actually spend the night in Brussels, which would be so cool. So Liam also asked, how long do they give you in each city? Now that really depends on how many days you're spending in a city. So on my trip, which was 12 days, depending on what time we got to the next city would depend on how long we're spending. So if you get to a city at around midday, you'll spend the day doing day activities and walking around and exploring, and then most likely you'll have something for dinner, like whether it's a planned activity or not, you'll spend dinner there. Either you end up wanting to go out that night or you go back to the hotel, and most likely the next morning you'll be leaving for the next city. But if you get to a city at around 4, 5, 6 p.m, you'll have dinner there, and most likely you should be able to go back there in the morning, just because you haven't had as much time as the other cities before. It will very much vary on how you're going with time, whether you're late for something due to a situation that you can't avoid. It all depends and it all will vary. So Kat Johnston asks, just wondering why you guys chose the 3 SIM card over the JT one. So far in my research, the JT one works in all countries I'm going to, whereas 3 only works in 5 of the 7. So the JT SIM card that Kat is talking about is the SIM card that comes in the little package you get from Contiki 2 to 3 weeks before you go on your trip. So that SIM card I think is a prepaid one where you just have to keep putting money on it. Friends of ours that were on our trip, all I heard were complaints from them. I don't even know if it really works. I think the reception is really bad on them. Honestly, they said they weren't using their phones at all because of that reason. Basically, I've been recommended it by friends. They all said try the 3 SIM card, it's really reliable. It did amount to be £15 at the time. I believe that the price has gone up since. Yeah, no problems with reception. Honestly, it was such a breeze to get that SIM card. Definitely recommend it for the next time. The only thing that I heard about the JT one while we were on our trip were complaints from our other friends on the trip saying that the reception or the signal was really bad. So the last few questions is from Candy, and the first one she asked was, are there any excluded activities that you recommend or thought was a waste of time? I thought when I was in Austria, I didn't do whitewater rafting and I didn't do the Swarovski Museum, and honestly I was really tired this day anyway, and I found it to be just a resting day, which was really nice. And then we went out that night. The whitewater rafting would have been really cool, but I don't regret it that I missed out on doing it. Instead, I actually got to call my family that day, and yeah, I really liked that day because all the people that weren't doing whitewater rafting with me, we all just had a really personal big chat in a group, and it was a lovely hot day and we were just chilling, and yeah, it was a good vibe. It was a good food, good vibe, good conversation, and yeah, we're just learning more about each other. Do you get your own me time to walk around the city if you opt from the excluded activities? Yes, you will. If you're in amongst the city, you'll definitely be able to go off and do your own thing, but in situations like if you are in Austria doing whitewater rafting, there's not much for you to do because you're in a little small town and they probably might not like it if you left just due to time and things. You probably wouldn't have enough time to go where you'd want to and things like that. I'm not too sure. You'd have to ask and see. Sometimes it doesn't work out. And number 4, did you have to use public transport a lot? So if we're talking just Contiki, you're not at hotels that really offer a shuttle service. You just have to rely on your Contiki bus driver to be that. But we only used public transport like 4 or 5 times, and every time it was pretty easy and you just followed the steps, and most likely members of your group will be doing the same thing, so you have other people to help you out and things like that. Other than that, when we were staying in Rome, we did have to catch the train in to the city just because it was much easier and missed all the hustle and bustle of the traffic that morning, and that was easy. You're with your whole group, you're with your tour manager, we felt safe. So yeah, so I hope you found that really helpful. If you have any more questions, definitely leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Something I've been quite reluctant to say on my channel is what every YouTuber says at the end of the video. I didn't want to say that straight away because I don't want to sound like too forward or anything like that, but I feel like this is my 10th or 11th video now and I'm kind of wanting to do this. So definitely, if you like this video, please if you could give it a thumbs up, that would be so lovely. And if you want to see more, definitely hit the subscribe button. I feel really cringe saying this, but it would mean so much to me. It will help me out so much. But I hope to see you soon, and yeah. I'm sorry, I'm getting all awkward now, but I hope you have a really good day and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.